With new Minecraft development builds, also known as Snapshots, coming out, well, there is a lot of new information to cover all about the new stuff in the game. But a lot of times you only focus on the big things, new mobs, new items, new ores, but you miss some of the small stuff. So we're gonna take a look at some of the smaller things that you may have missed from these latest snapshots. So here we are inside of Minecraft and we are in the nether. Now, a lot of the things that I'm gonna be talking about are actually not in the nether. I'm just starting off here because I feel like, you know, it's the nether update, so you gotta show off something in the nether that maybe you didn't know about. But most of the things we're gonna be talking about are in the overworld, or just stuff that's always sort of been in the game that has changed a bit. Starting off here in the nether though, like I said. So you may know that if you bone meal a piece of netherrack that is next to the new nylium block, then you will get another of that block. Now it has to be directly connected or adjacent. So in an area here, let me just take one and put it right here. You can, if this is our source block, you can of course bone meal all of those blocks. But even if it's just one block, one block away, like that would be not possible. So if we do that one more time, yeah, not possible over there. But what happens when you get into a situation where you have two of the same color and you bone meal one in between the two? Well, let's go ahead and set the same experiment up a few times. Okay, we have it set up so that we can do it a few times. The output will actually be a random decision between the two colors of blocks. So you can see right here with our little test, it looks like the crimson happened 3 times where the warped happened 5 times. So it looks like it's leaning a little bit towards the warp side, but I'll let you know that it is random between the two. Although this can be changed, so we'll have it be warped a few more times if you have more blocks of a certain type on the other side. So in this situation, it will, wait a second. So I got lucky here. Dang it, I got so lucky. So basically, it's going to look at all of the blocks that are around that block. So if we have this sort of situation here where only a single one is crimson, and then you bone meal it, sure, there is a 1 in 8 chance that that turns out to be crimson, just like that. But it's going to look at all of the other blocks around it. This does not seem like a 1 in 8 chance. What? The Minecraft wiki lied to me. So some experimenting needs to be done here, because it was my impression that if you had, you know, that situation that we showed off earlier where you have an 8 to 1 or 7 to 1 chance. So this is 7 blocks of the warped and 1 block of the crimson, that if you bone meal it, it'll most likely be warped. But I'm also seeing all sorts of weird behaviors with this, and this could just be because it is in fact a much more random situation than I was expecting, where I did this same experiment over in the other area of this, and I was getting so much more warped blocks than I was crimson blocks. So put down some crimson, put down some warped, and then I'm gonna bone meal all the way around the block and then just kind of keep going. Now it almost seems like it's the opposite, where I'm getting more crimson than I am warped, and then eventually 1 block took over. So you got tons of crimson over here. Really warped is the only thing that you got on that one side. I think the takeaway from this is that if you have 2 of them, you really don't know what you're gonna get whenever you bone meal in between 2 different types of nylium. Next, Piglin, as you know, will sometimes spawn with armor, and you can also hand them armor and they will put it on. But there is a little bit of a catch here, in that they have big old floppy ears, and you can see that those ears actually will poke through the side of the texture of whatever helmet they are wearing. Now, if we throw down an armor stand and put that same helmet texture onto a stand, you can see that there is not a hole that is that large. So you can see that we go down 1, 2, 3 pixels, and then that's where it stops. But over here, you go down 1, 2, 3 pixels, and you still have a whole bunch of armor left on that texture. And the reason that that works is that there is actually a new pigment texture for every single type of armor. So you can see we got chainmail layer 1, chainmail layer 2, and then chainmail piglin helmet. Same thing with diamond. You have layer 1, layer 2, and then a piglin helmet. That is true for gold, iron, leather. Leather is a little bit complicated because it has a whole bunch of pieces, but you got your leather piglin helmet over here, netherite piglin helmet over here. Now the turtle helmet, that one is a little bit different. And the reason that one's a little bit different is because it totally breaks on top of the pigmen whenever you give them a turtle helmet. Here, come here, my friend. Oh, he doesn't like the lantern that I placed down earlier. Anybody want a turtle helmet? There he goes. Oh, you're so broken. Next, outside of the nether, whenever you shear a snow golem's helmet, now it will actually make a sound. I wish you could kind of hand the pumpkin back to him and he would put it back on. But now you get a sound whenever you shear a snow golem. Next in my hand is Infested Stone, which means that this has silverfish inside of it. Before, if you were to blow this up with TNT, it would just blow up the stone. Actually, here, let's just do one piece of TNT so we don't get collateral damage by killing our silverfish. Now, if you... there we go. Blow up this infested stone. It will actually spawn all of the silverfish so that you'll actually have a difficult time dealing with all of that infested stone. Earlier, you could have just destroyed it with TNT and then the silverfish would have died. So you wouldn't have had to deal with the silverfish at all. In past versions of Minecraft, if you placed redstone onto barrier blocks, there was a cool effect that you got, which was that the underside of the redstone would not show up and it would look like you had invisible redstone. Well, there is now a bottom texture to redstone. So sadly, this amazing technique where it looks like you had invisible redstone, that is no longer the case, and it looks like it probably should have since the very beginning. This is a small micro change. Is clay has been found in a lot of river biomes, and it has a clay block, and then whenever it drops that block, it will break into multiple things, just like, say, glowstone, for instance. When it dropped, it would always drop clay, but now it will drop a clay ball. So small itty bitty name change, but kind of a thing that you probably wouldn't have noticed. And finally, the last change is that the knockback resistance effect has changed. Now, whenever you have knockback resistance, that is a scale from the amount of knockback taken instead of a chance that you take no knockback at all. So before, if you had a knockback resistance, maybe 1 time out of 10, you'd actually take the knockback and go flying. But now, if you have knockback resistance, it will say, okay, well, that was a knockback of 10, or you're going to get pushed, like, say, 10 blocks, but you have a knockback resistance of 3. That means that we are going to scale that all the way down to now you only get knocked back, say, a block instead of 10 blocks, is a good way to think of it. So the whole way that knockback resistance it calculates has been changed. There you have it, a whole bunch of changes in the most recent snapshots that you probably never heard anybody talk about. So I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. We'll see you in the next video. Bye. OMG Craft is selling merch. We have a gold foil t-shirt, ooh la la, and a t-shirt that mentions like a little thing that I like to say. So here we are inside of Minecraft. You can check out these pieces of merchandise in the description down below, and I'd really appreciate it if you got some.